Welcome to Mortified, the Friendship Quest, a podcast where two long-distance friends bounce media recommendations, all in hopes the other will like it. I'm Aaron.
And I'm small, fluffy, and evil.
And this week, we begin a new unit on twisted fairy tales with the 2005 animated mystery Hoodwinked. Before Patrick Warburton overdubs my voice, remember you can help us on Mortified the Legitimacy Quest by smashing that like and subscribe on YouTube, leaving us a review on iTunes, or just telling a friend about the show. Leyla.
Aaron?
Do you like Rashomon?
Can I be real? Don't know what that is.
Oh, okay. I believe it is a 1950s Japanese mystery story where the story gets told from several different perspectives. It's the origin of this kind of, maybe not the origin, but the most popular in the last 100 years version of this kind of story that we just saw. But yeah. That's what we're doing. So normally our bits are a little bit sillier, but this was just a fun fact, I guess.
Yeah, no, hey, we're starting out educational. Why not?
Yeah, sure. How about let's try this again. What's with our new unit? We did our White Wing Pivot. We did the Fountainhead plus Megalopolis. What's inspired this new take as we're going into weird fairy tales?
Well, the recession.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so here's the thing. We have a document in our drive. It's 5 years. It's as old as this podcast is. It's called The Mortified Idealist, and it's where we jot down things that we might want to cover. And so we finished watching Megalopoly, a film, certainly, that we decided it was technically, yes, a film. And we said, okay, what's next? And we went to the Mortified Idealist, and the first thing on the Mortified Idealist was grimdark fairy tales. And we said, okay, bet. So we are going to do a bunch of movies from the mid 2000s, early 2010s that are these weird grimdark takes on fairy tales, because I don't know if we have any younger listeners who are maybe not of that particular era. But hey, what's happening now with the sequels and spin-offs and shit? Not new. And the day after we decided this, there was a trailer for Hugh Jackman, grimdark, Robin Hood. We are in the recession, motherfuckers. Mm-hmm. Let's fucking go.
It is here. We're doing it.
All the indicators are live.
Yep. We just need some sort of big crisis, which probably statistically, by the time this episode is live, has already happened, just based on how often our podcast intersects with world history. So that'll be exciting. Hey everybody, this is Editing Aaron here to chime in to say that Leyla and I recorded this episode on April 25th at about 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is the same day as the 2026 White House Correspondents' Dinner. Just a fun fact that I thought you might be interested in. We're going to talk about Hoodwinked, which is a 2005 animated movie that, as far as I can tell, I did some Wikipedia research, right? Nothing super deep, but It seems like it was one of those things that just kind of happened upon the heels of Shrek, and just really because it was done by an independent, basically a dude and his brother and a couple other collaborators and a studio in the Philippines. They were able to make this with a nothing budget. And to be fair, you can tell, but with an $8 million budget, $120 box office, hugely successful. Despite the fact that it does not look very good, and we'll talk about that.
And that's how we got Hoodwinked too.
Right. Somehow, yes, which I definitely did not read anything about because I was like, you know what, I bet that movie is not good. This movie was actually surprisingly good despite the quality of the visuals. But yeah, I just wanted to not let my memory of it be sullied.
Mm-hmm. No, that's completely fair. I learned about this movie from a Mike's Mike video. And Mike's Mike really only out there covering the most diva of projects, and this was, I think, this had an aura of wanting to be something more than it was, and was it one of the most fuck ass ugly movies I've ever seen in my life? Yeah. Did I see what they were going for? Yeah. Did I kind of wish that maybe they could have had a couple more swings at it to really nail it down? Yeah.
Yeah. A little background on this. So the creator Corey Edwards basically just like I'll link to the interview that I was listening to in the show notes, but like he was, shopping around this this show, and it was just like a convenient time, and he was able to keep the costs pretty low because of the aforementioned small studio, like him, his brother, a couple other collaborators. Like they didn't hire voice actors for the initial pitch of the movie, but like just like he ended up with apparently unfortunately the Weinstein Company got involved and became a backer, which does suck, because they obviously Harvey Weinstein, notable piece of shit, but like that's how they were able to get people like Anne Hathaway and Glenn Close in, is the Weinstein Company brought them in to do some major voice work. Weirdly, Patrick Warburton, just like a guy who likes to do indie projects, so he just like heard about this through a friend of a friend, and he was like, yeah, I'll do the show, fuck it, whatever. So Warburton seems like a really cool guy. I'm glad that he was in here. But yeah, it was just like one
That's
of those
what Mark
like
Hamill's doing.
Yeah, and I mean, like, God bless him. Why not, right? Do fashion projects that you're like kind of interested in.
Right.
But yeah, like the production of this, happened over like 3 years, and they just kind of got this thing going, and I don't know. It's we'll talk about it. But like, yeah, the reason that there's so many, like the cast is so stacked is because at the very before production really wrapped, they were able to get the backing of the Weinstein Corporation or company or whatever, and that's how you have people like Jim Belushi and Exhibit in here. But yeah, let's talk about the plot, and I believe it is my turn.
Sure is. I got my fingers ready to count your sentences.
Okay, so number 1, in generic fantasy fairy tale forest, detective Nikki Flippers, cool frog, decides to help a local police department solve a case in which the big bad wolf broke into the house of Granny Puckett, apparently tying her up and impersonating her while trying to steal her recipes from her grandchild, Little Red Riding Hood, before a crazed woodsman smashed through their window. Period. However, upon investigating each of the suspects individually, some notable discrepancies in the case emerge, but all of them seem to have been either targeted by or investigating the Goody Bandit. Period. That's 2. The Goody Bandit is a mysterious criminal who has been putting local bakeries and pastry restaurants, parentheses, and I guess also schnitzel trucks, close parentheses, out of business in this forest, so there is some sort of conspiracy going on, period. It is revealed that the Goody Bandit is, in fact, a rabbit named Boingo who has kind of been going in and out of all of these vignettes and has the worst vibes I've ever seen in an animated cartoon. Parentheses, we'll get to that, and parentheses, period. Despite some initial misconceptions about Granny's hiding her extreme sports background hobby from Red, they are eventually able to defeat Boingo the Goody Bandit and his gang of European extreme skiers. Period. And that's what Hoodwinked is about.
That's the movie. Yeah, you got.
if it seemed like it took kind of a weird turn in the third act, you're right. It does take a weird turn there about halfway through.
Do you know who Nikki Flippers reminds me of? Before we get started.
Gosh, it's not... I've got Benoit Blanc on the mind, but I don't think it's that.
It's not. It's, of all characters, Nick Valentine from Fallout 4.
You know...
Do you see it?
I can see it, but explain what you're seeing.
I don't know. It's the vibe. There's something kind of forlorn about Nikki Flippers that's really giving me Nick Valentine.
Yeah.
In kind of a big way.
There's some place he'd rather be. He's like searching for a past that he can't quite get at, doing the best he can in this dark and fallen world. Yeah, I would say that is so true of Detective Flippers.
Yeah, for sure. We got a little preview of him of how he got his name, right? He's called Flippers because he's a real good dancer. So I think there's some of that.
Yeah, no, I bet Nick Valentine can do a mean foxtrot for sure.
Yeah. Sure. Yes. Sorry, I got lost in the fantasy.
Yeah. Yeah. So like it is a weird, like kind of silly crime story. They're doing the like in this project of grimdark fantasy, right? I think part of the allure, and we're going to find out if this is true with our, 4-movie selection. I think part of the allure is taking a well-known story that kind of, because of the ways in which we are told these stories in our childhood, have the like interesting and often gruesome edges sanded down, right? You think about Cinderella, right? And the thing about the stepsisters cutting their feet off to fit in the slipper that usually doesn't get in the stories, right? When we did our Cinderella spectacular, nobody got their foot chopped off, I don't believe. And I feel like the allure of these stories is being like, okay, let's put a little bit of the weirdness back in. Again, I've never read like one of the original Grimm fairy tales or the Hans Christian Andersen stuff, but like it seems like they're at least in the 2000s, the 2005 to 2013, let's say, there is both this impulse in America to satirize the corporate, right? Specifically Disney, right? We see this with Shrek, obviously. But this was a big anxiety in the 90s, right? Everybody's like, it sucks so bad to work in an office. Man, there's nothing worse than sitting at a computer all day. A thing that I am like endlessly contemptuous of as somebody who loves to sit in an office and work on a computer all day. But also like this like, obviously we're seeing the conservative project really get the engine going. In a really heinous way, with George H.W. Bush and the many military interventions we've seen since then. But there is this like desire to have something a little bit more dark, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'm just like making this all up, but I feel like this is a thread that we've talked about before.
I think that's the underbelly of it, but also if you think about that moment in culture, I'm thinking about like. What was that channel?
Spike TV.
Spike TV, baby. Yes, I'm thinking of Spike TV because
I was watching Spike TV when I was 13 years old.
I know you were watching Mansers. I have to constantly debunk all your beliefs that you carry to this day from Mansers. Yeah, it's
exhausting. We have to edit out 30 minutes of me being like, Layla, do women are boobs actually flotation devices? I saw this. I learned this when I was 14.
I learned this from Mansers, and Mansers was never wrong.
Right.
But I'm thinking about like Spike TV and that kind of like Jackass, all that kind of edgy like fairy tales are for pussies. What if these were fairy tales for dudes? Mm-hmm. There was that too, because all the audience of the grimdark fairy tales in the beginning, like we are gonna watch why am I blanking on his name again? The guy who had the app, Jeremy Renner, the Jeremy Renner Hansel and Gretel.
The guy who had the app is a wild way to describe one of the biggest not action, but fantasy movie stars of the 2010s, Jeremy Renner. But sure, yeah, the guy who had the app. Unfortunately, it is the funniest thing you can say about anyone.
He had a Jeremy Renner app. It's true. I I don't watch a lot of action films, so Jeremy Renner is the guy with the app to me.
Fair enough.
The thing I've seen him in most recently was the Wake Up Dead Man.
Yeah, and he was
It's
great.
not an action movie. He was great. It did a good job, but we're gonna watch their Hansel and Gretel, and that's very much like Gretel's in like a corset, and she's shooting people while her jugs are out. Like the audience is mad.
This project's gonna be so wild. What if Hoodwinked is the best movie we watch out of all four, Leyla? I'm terrified.
You think it's not? It's all downhill from here. But like only later do we get like Snow White and the Huntsman, which is like a little bit more for the goth girls,
Right. That's also like
it's probably
in
still
the Twilight
misogynistic.
Era. Oh yeah, I'm sure it's gonna suck shit, but
so I do love Case 2 though. I'm very excited to see my girl Case 2 again. But yeah, so I'm jazzed for this unit. This is some of these movies are gonna be dog shit, and I'm kind of sad that we already watched Van Helsing.
Yeah, Van Helsing would have been a great companion to this.
Spiritually, it's in the oeuvre in kind of a big way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. One thing I want to point out, though, is that the creator of this, Corey Edwards, is firstly kind of a Christian creator. Like he ends up working on VeggieTales after this. And you can tell the influence of VeggieTales. Like this definitely feels like it comes out of the VeggieTales era. If you compare animation, but like one thing that he noted was like he felt that Shrek was like a little bit too cynical. And he was like, I wanted to do a take on, fairy tales that was a little bit more fun. Not necessarily as nostalgic or saccharine as the Disney stuff, but like the idea that Shrek is a little bit too cynical, I actually am really charmed by. Like, despite the fact that, you and I both love Shrek, I really
Shrek
like...
1 is quite cynical, though.
And it is. Don't get me wrong. And I think that's like... Yeah. I think that's kind of really charming, though, just to be like, we're about to enter an era of deep, deep cynicism, and this is a way to like try to. It is both a portent of what is to come, and it is also like an attempt to be like, let's do something different that isn't quite as biting and acerbic.
Right. But still, like, funny, fast-paced, and...
I thought some of the jokes in this were pretty good. Like, genuinely, several laughs, which is more than I expected. I giggled for sure. There was one Mr. Flippers at one point is like, it's such a throwaway line, but it really did make me laugh when they finally identify Boingo as the Goody Bandit. He goes, call in the sketch artist. No, a cartoonist. Right. And like there is
I laughed.
There's a quality to these jokes, which I think there's definitely some like mid 2000s stuff in here that drives me up the wall, but like I think for most of the jokes they do expect the audience to like kind of get them. Probably my favorite joke in the entire thing is they're like, let me find it exactly in my notes. They're like, oh man, they're talking about the woodsman Kirk, and they're like, oh man, this guy's a loony, and then the like stork police lieutenant is like, hey, watch it, chief, my mama's half a loon. Which like is a good joke, and it's also like, hey, they're not explaining to you the audience that a loon is a bird, right? This is a movie for kids, but they're like, nope, if you get it, you get it, and if you don't, that's okay. Like, and I think a weaker movie would have gone out of their way to explain it, and I'm glad that they didn't. I
agree.
I think this film is pretty confident in its writing, which really gives it a lot of heft that a lot of similar movies that come afterwards don't have.
Yeah, it's unself-conscious overall, which is great. I love it. I think it's man, I wish it had just, again, a couple more swings. I would gladly at DreamWorks fucking buy the rights, man. I'll spearhead a Hoodwinked remake.
I also think you could probably animate a film about as well as this, just by yourself at this point in technology history.
By myself, I'm also not a 3D animator. Like me in Blender for the first time, I think
right.
I could do.
I think it'd take you a year, but I think you could probably put out a 60-minute Hoodwinked expansion just with Blender in your spare time. Because this movie does look very bad, and I'm sure we'll talk about that.
Yeah, and it's not. That's in my hedging way, I just want to be clear, not disparaging the artists in the Philippines.
Right.
They were working for no money under insane constraints. And I am going to guess that in the early 2000s, just based on what I know of outsourcing to Southeast Asia right now, I'm pretty sure the infrastructure in the Philippines was not as built out to have like a studio that produces a feature film as it is now. So,
Edwards talks about how, like, you know, these guys had done some commercials, but they had never done a feature film before, right, with this stuff. So they were learning this shit at the same time. So, like, this is all wild and new, and it's truly impressive that they pulled this off at all.
Yes, and as Aaron and I were talking about this yesterday, before everybody was accusing everybody else of using AI to make poor projects, I promise you, it's usually mismanagement. It's usually just mismanagement and lack of infrastructure.
Yeah, so like the opening, you know, we get the classic, you know, Red tries to confront the wolf. The wolf kind of is like, oh, hey, why are you talking about all the ways I'm ugly as hell? Stop that. Granny comes out of the closet. She's all tied up. The woodsman smashes through the window and starts yelling. We get all of the, the police chief comes in. The police bear, played by Exhibit, comes in. And he's like, I just want to lock them all up. And then Detective Flippers comes in. He starts interviewing them. And we get 4 little, like, 10 to 15-minute vignettes. I guess we just start with Red.
Insane. This movie's structure is insane. Because the first half are these vignettes and the back half is a prolonged action sequence. So it's not really a 3-act structure. It is a 5-act structure. It's or 2. I don't know. It's bananas. But yeah, so Red, to summarize, she yearns for adventure.
Right.
And she delivers goodies for her grandma. And part of her thing, she sings a song about how she yearns for adventure. And then because the goodie bandit is robbing everybody of their recipes and everybody's shutting down shop in the goodie economy and, leaving town, leaving the forest, Red is like, fine, I got to take my grandma's recipes and take them up the mountain to her to safekeep them. And she does. And it's a whole thing. Mine carts are involved.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. A couple things that I want to point out. I think one, there's a really fun shot of her. You know, she's doing her song. Anne Hathaway, pretty good singer for somebody who's an actress, right?
Anne Hathaway is presently playing a pop star in an A24 horror movie that I want to see.
Oh well, there you go. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's a surprise that we love Anne Hathaway and that she's incredible. She does a completely good job. I don't think they had her in the booth for more than 2 hours, but I think she does a great job.
Oh, there's no fucking way. Yeah. One take.
Yeah. And
they recorded the table read.
Right. And I don't think it needed more than that, honestly. I think she does a completely fine job. There's a decent... Her I Want song's pretty decent. There's other songs in here that I think are middling to bad, but there's actually one song that stands out to me, which we'll talk about here in a minute. But there's a bit where there's a shot of her like getting the little birds to like carry her bike over the river because there's no bridge. I think that shot's actually very cool and kind of foreshadows the fact that there's like gonna be some extreme action sequences in a weird way.
Well, my favorite part about that shot is that it happens in the background of other people's vignettes.
Yes, you see it from other people's points of view, which rules.
That it is legitimately like it is such a good visual gag where you just like are watching Red in the background singing past the other characters as they're talking, and then like in the background to the right you see it from a different angle, and it's like because it's not the hero shot, because it's just happening in the background, it looks goofy and insane, and it works.
Yeah,
I love it. I think it's great.
Again, it's like an understated like. They're putting something funny for the audience to look at, but like they don't really draw attention to it. It's just kind of like if you catch it, you're like, hey, that's actually hilarious. It's so good. She does her thing. There's why she meets up with the wolf, who is like, it turns out is a reporter, so that's why he's asking her a bunch of weird questions. He seemingly growls at her, so she starts to run from him. And that's how they end up in the cart chase sequence, right?
Mm-hmm.
Before that, though,
correct.
she meets the goat, which I thought was another really like funny, completely throwaway character. But he was like, I am a billy goat, and I've been cursed by a witch to sing. And then she's like, wait, really? And he's like, oh yeah, for sure. And she's like, but you just stopped singing. He's like, no. Like, it just seems like he's a guy who tells people he's been cursed by a witch to sing so he can just do these solo monologues to people, which is like, I don't think he's like especially funny outside of that, but I that bit especially ruled and primed me. Oh, he can also turn his horns into like helicopter blades and shit. It's insane.
Love. Yeah, just crazy physical comedy for no reason other than girl needs to go up the mountain. It's like, what kind of goof shit can we stuff in these 10 minutes? And they do.
Yeah, and it's pretty good. The cart sequence, there's some dynamite. They go down a mine shaft. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
The dynamite's is in Wolf's minecart.
Oh, okay, yeah. They ramp off of the destroyed track that we later learned was destroyed because Wolf had a bunch of dynamite in there for some reason.
Right, it was a dynamite cart, and the squirrel that he's with thought it was a candle called Dynamite. Keep up.
Right. Sorry, of course. Also, decent joke. I was like, okay, I get it.
Dynamite got my ass.
Hey, listen, I broadly don't like the squirrel character because, like, I feel like that's a very common.
I never like those.
Right, it's like, the squirrel's hyperactive and talks really fast. Ha ha ha. Sure, whatever. But it was all right.
Kids
it was
think it's
completely
funny,
fine. Right.
You know what? Actually, it wasn't the Dynamite itself that got me. It was the lead up to Dynamite. I think it's Italian.
That's pretty good. Yeah, it was all right. The one insane thing that stood out to me during this is when they vault off of the minecart and they're like flying through the air, and an apparition, like a Catholic vision of Mary, appears to Red, because Red has been like calling her grandma throughout this. She keeps hearing her grandma in like increasingly dangerous situations. It seems like her grandma's in trouble, which is why she's like hurrying to get to her house. Then her grandma appears to her like like Saint Mary of Lourdes or some shit, and is like, Red, use your cape. And it looks yeah, that's right. It's a bonkers sequence, and Red's just like, okay, I guess I'm having a use the Force Luke type situation, and she is able to land. She turns into Link from Breath of the Wild and air gliders her way back to Grandma's house, and then that's where she has the confrontation with the wolf. But yeah, it's like, that's okay, sure, that is a completely fine baseline. And I think that's a pretty good way to set the stakes. It's like, okay, here's the one version of the story that you kind of are primed to expect as somebody who is, going through the story of Red Riding Hood. Pretty solid start, I think.
Mm-hmm. And then we kind of did Red and Wolf. You covered Wolf is a journalist, right? He is investigating the Goody Bandit. The thing with where he growled at Red was a misunderstanding. That was his tummy because he was hungry.
And then his tail gets caught in the squirrel's camera, which is why he yells.
Yes, which that camera is one of the most expensive props in that production for a throwaway gag. Kudos. Yeah, they get directions from Boingo, right? Because Boingo's there.
I forgot to mention Boingo is there when Red falls out of the cable car, which is important.
Mm-hmm. And he grabs the basket, not Red. That's our first hint.
Right. He grabs for. He doesn't quite get it, but it's very clear he's not grabbing for Red. It's he might as well have pushed her. It was before that. As soon as Boingo gets introduced, I was like, that rabbit is guilty of something. I know this. I can feel it in his voice. He is a fucking rat. I know this. And I was immediately proven right. I don't know if that happened to you, but I was like, that rabbit's a fucking bastard. I know it.
I was like, that is the sketchiest fuck-ass rabbit I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, so he grabs the basket. That's what I knew. I was like, fucker. That's the Goody Bandit right there. So he meets Boingo. Boingo gives him bad directions. They go through the cave. That's when his part of the minecart chase starts to happen, him and the squirrel. And then he ends up at Grandma's house. And fucking puts on a mask to look like Grandma and is like, I'm gonna get Red because I'm convinced Red is the Goody Bandit. And again, it's so we're primed to hear the Red Riding Hood version of the tale. We're also primed, based on what kind of movie this is, to hear a direct inversion of the Red Riding Hood tale, which is to say, like, the wolf did nothing wrong, and that's what we hear here. What we are not primed for are the next two escalating, ridiculous tales, which are of Kirk, the
woodsman,
lumberjack, the woodsman, and Grandma, also the wolf, played by the same guy who plays Kronk in The Emperor's New Groove.
All right, that's Patrick Warburton. And you could tell because he has one voice.
I just call him Kronk.
Listen, he is Kronk to me. Don't get me wrong. He'll always be Kronk to me. What's okay? Kirk is insane. This is where the story both goes off the rails and also is like, oh, this goes from like a kind of like okay movie to like a decent to good movie. So they're like, all right, we're gonna put this German guy in here. Kirk, played by Jim Belushi, of all people. Mm-hmm. He's Austrian. Sorry, Kirk is Austrian. My bad. I love Kirk. I think he's awesome.
My only criticism of Kirk is, and I know this is the 2000s, Kirk should be a little gayer. Right. Just a little.
Sure.
I could feel inklings of it, you know? I want a little more bear out of Kirk.
Right. I mean, he wants to be in like a yodeling group, right? Like that. He's clearly...
That's his dream.
Right. He's at least bisexual.
Aaron, take him seriously.
And I do.
He wants to travel the world with the best musical group on planet Earth, those fucking Austrian yodelers.
Right. And he's got the lungs for it, certainly, but
certainly, yeah.
So that's the thing, though. He's not actually a woodsman, right? He's an actor.
Mm-hmm.
So why is he?
He's auditioning for a commercial,
right? Do you remember what it's for?
Bunion cream.
Paul Bunyan's bunion cream. It's goofy. Sure.
I think the word bunion is inherently funny because it does appear a lot in children's cartoons.
It does, right? Bun, right, has that like you're thinking of like it's very soft. It evokes, bread or dough, but also like it sounds like bum or butt. Mm-hmm.
And kind of like onion, which are stinky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's a thing that will happen to old people, and the young people love making fun of old people. It's as is their right.
Yeah, because old people are gross.
Right.
Old people are yucky.
And yeah, I mean he's talking to the director who is a lizard. Is that correct?
He was really giving the Geico gecko.
Oh my God.
Did he not? That's what I thought they were going for. I thought they were going for like a Geico gecko kind of imagery.
No, that makes a lot more sense because I feel like the Geico gecko is also frequently depicted as like a director, like in like directing commercials.
Yeah. I was getting Geico Gecko.
No, I think you're 100% right. But yeah, the gecko's like, all right, I don't think you got it, kid, but we'll call you if something happens. Mm-hmm. And after that, Kirk he's like, well, I don't think I'm gonna get this part. I'm kind of sad, but I'm working my day job, which is of course
driving a fucking schnitzel truck. Oh my God. Do you know how badly I'm craving fucking meat on a stick right now because of that fucking schnitzel truck?
I might drop some of the song in here, but like before we started recording, I went back to watch the schnitzel truck song, and I was like grinning ear to ear when Leyla got on the Discord because I was like, man, this song rules.
Can confirm he was just fucking cheesing when I turned my video on.
Schnitzel, the favorite treat for little girls and boys to eat. Schnitzel man can serve them quick. It's a schnitzel on a stick.
No more spoons, use your hands,
says the friendly schnitzel man.
Make sure you keep an extra one for later in your later hosa.
It's an all-timer. The kids look horrendous. Like there's like 8 little Austrian children that come out to dance. And Leyla, you point out in your notes that like the animation in this is like giving stop motion, and that is intentional. They are trying to do Rankin Bass type shit. But these kids look like evil automatons. They are terrifying.
Yeah. Well, it's not even just the character stuff, but the way that the backgrounds are also is very evocative, like in the lighting. They're really trying to evoke stop motion, but you know what's cheaper than fabricating a shit ton of puppets? CGI.
Right.
So,
yeah.
hence. I think, and also in 2002, there was no technology available to like texture. I think it would have gone a long way to texture these characters with like felt almost texture, you know? But they have that early 2000s CGI kind of plasticky look, and the lighting is not that like this is really suffering from being of its time visually. For no reason other than technological limitations. But no, those little children are fucking terrifying. Like, I legitimately, not a lot scares me visually speaking. I'm more frightened by noises. I didn't like looking at them.
Yeah, no, they were hard to look at. How come he ends up at the cottage? I know that he's like he's
the
practicing.
Schnitzel truck gets robbed by the Goody Bandit.
That's right. They steal his tires.
And the Goody Bandit, yeah, also takes his tires.
Which is fucked
and
up.
Boingo!
Hey, man, what the fuck? They turn it into a bomb, right? They turn the Schnitzel truck into a bomb. Is that what happens?
Yes.
Okay.
No,
they
yeah,
put they put treads
that's
on
at the
it.
end.
Yeah. I forgot.
Yeah.
They turn it into like a tank of some sort, which is insane, but
yeah, hysterical. Again, great movie. Fantastic physical comedy. But yeah, so he goes and he gets a call back. Again, another great throwaway line. Finally, they called me back. I've always heard of callbacks.
Listen,
it's just so sad.
Very much community theater. Like, oh, maybe one day I'll be on the callback list.
Yeah. So he gets told to embody the woodsman, and he goes and starts chopping down a tree.
He has to read a book called like Wood Cutting for Dummies or something. It's like a stupid
Very
gag.
good.
But like at first he's like, you know, using the blunt end of the stick to chop the trees. And it's like, all right, sure, whatever, man. And then pretty soon he is just like with one arm just like slicing through like complete deforestation out here in these woods. But
right. And he's working on a real big fat tree when it falls over and knocks him over, and that's why he ends up flying through the window screaming when Red and
right. He turns into like a level in Crash Bandicoot, right, where the tree is like following him down the hill and he has to run away from it, and it gets stuck between two upright trees, but he is still running, so he jumps through their window. It's very fun. Yeah, I just like that whole sequence. I think it's arguably one of the strongest parts of the movie.
It's really good. Now, but Aaron, how did Grandma end up tied up in her own closet if no one tied her up?
That's right. Well, here's the thing about Granny Leyla. She's not like other grandmas.
Do you remember what her name is?
I don't, but I do remember the frog is like, hey man, you have 3 G's tattooed on your neck.
Triple G, motherfucker! That's what she goes by.
I do have to say, I was into extreme sports Granny up until she started using a black scent to talk with her teammates.
Again,
it was the 2000s.
It's
very funny to be like, I'm gonna put somebody talking like a rapper in a kid's cartoon. I understand.
Someone who, you know, doesn't look like they would talk like that. You know?
Right. Listen, I get the joke. I think it's, I understand it. It's not meant to be racist.
Many such things.
Many such situations. But Grandma does show up and she's like, "What up, my homies?" And we get a for shizzle at some point, and I'm like, "All right, okay, that's enough."
Snoop Dogg, I'm so sorry.
It's fine, but the like biggest conflict in this movie is not the theft of all the goodies, but it's the conflict between Red and Granny, right? Because Granny keeps this a secret from her, right? When she emerges from the closet that she's tied up in, the police find that there's like all these like trophies and medals, and then Red even has a flashback to, she's like, huh, Grandma, why does this medal say 1983 Hell in a Cell blood death match, one-on-one? And Grandma's like, oh, that's just a recipe or some shit. Don't worry about that. And like there's like a brief cut back to her like winning WrestleMania or something. It's insane. But yeah, like the whole conflict is between Red having her trust broken in her grandmother, which is it is a nothing conflict. You cannot tell me that if you found out your grandma, was an Olympic level snowboarder, that you wouldn't be thrilled. Like that, it's goofy to think that Red is so hurt by this.
We do get a fun ballad though out of it. We get Red is Blue.
Worst song in the movie. It's so bad.
It's a terrible song, but I was like, terrible song, ton of budget spent on it, like very visually intensive with all the flowers closing and shit.
Right.
The most budget in the movie went into Granny Extreme Sports, and then like weirdly the camera that the squirrel has and like Red is Blue.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the flowers. I liked the visuals of it, but yeah, it was kind of a nothing burger.
Yeah. Yeah.
After the Schnitzel song, paled in comparison.
Yeah, right. Nothing can beat the Schnitzel song. So the reason that Granny's tied up is, firstly, the reason Red was like trying to come over, right? And she was like, Grandma, I'm gonna come see you. And Grandma was like, oh, hey, no, it's too dangerous for a little girl to come up the mountain. And the reason that she doesn't want Red to come up the mountain is because she has a skiing event that day, and she does not want Red to cut into her snow slopes time. That's gonna fuck up her whole routine, which I think is so funny.
It's really good.
And
she's competing against European freaks, which is also really good.
Right, yeah, they're just like a bunch of, how like we watched what's that Bruce Willis movie with the tower and Alan Rickman? Die Hard, obviously, yes. There was like a time in the 80s and 90s.
Who's the guy with the app? What's the Bruce Willis movie with the tower? Our frames of reference are unhealthy.
This podcast has really warped our, the XKCD meme where it's like, everybody knows, certain types of minerals. That's like us, except for everybody knows the guy from the app and the guy from the movie with the tower. This podcast is warping us.
Yeah, this friendship is warping us.
Yeah, that is true. Basically, they're like they're European bad guys, which I think is a funny thing. It's very funny for the Europeans to be the bad guys in like the 80s and 90s for some reason. Just like we were very afraid of Europeans in the 80s and 90s, I guess. Which makes me wonder
because Europe's gay.
I mean, yes, we all thought Europe was gay as shit for some reason. I don't know why.
There's a whole song about it in Legally Blonde musical.
Oh, that's true. Gay or European. Why did we think that?
European.
What the hell?
Because they wear shiny shirts and tiny shorts. Gay or foreign fellow, the answer could take weeks. They both say things like "Ciao Bella" and they kiss you on both cheeks, so please. I could keep going.
There's a lot of reasons to dislike American hegemony, but like one of them is just like being like everything but us is gay. It does make me wonder if in 10, 15 years, like is my kid gonna grow up and be like, oh, hey daddy, why are all the bad guys Americans? And it's like, well, kid, before you were born, we tried to destroy the world so many times that everybody else got really sick of it, actually.
Yeah, you're going to have a lot of conversations about why your kid cannot take that personally.
Yeah, that's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to be like, hey, man, it's not your fault, but it is our fault. And that's something we all have to grapple with, unfortunately.
Yeah. There are 6 specific men just slightly older than us.
Mm-hmm.
We really borked it for everybody.
Yeah. Anyway, the Europeans immediately start maiming her granny and her team. Like one of them like breaks her ski, I think. So she has to turn her other ski into a snowboard, I believe.
Sick.
It's good. Like the animation of the sequence of her like moving through the trees and jumping off of the slopes is very impressive.
They cheated like a fun backlighting shot where she goes in front of the sun, and you can tell they just like black her out manually somehow because they didn't have not a ton of like shader tools or all the shit we have now, or all the competent lighting. But like they faked it in a convincing way. I was like, fuck yeah, let's go.
That's all that matters, right? If it's convincing, it doesn't matter if it's faked. And it's a cool shot. It's a cool sequence, right? There's like a little bit of Matrix parody where Grandma is like doing flips and dodging snowballs and shooting other snowballs at the Europeans. It's all fun.
She causes the avalanche that forces Red to go into the mines, and I think fucks with Kirk a little bit.
I don't remember.
Does
if
Kirk get hit by the avalanche?
I think definitely the wolf does, but I don't remember if Kirk gets affected by the avalanche.
Right, but she causes it because she detonates some bombs.
She just has C4 on her. It's just not commented on, but she just does. She uses the avalanche to like help get to Red, right? Like she's using the avalanche to propel her faster to get back to the cottage, right. I believe.
And so when Red was seeing her fucking Catholic saint style, she was actually there.
Yeah, that wasn't a vision.
That was Granny.
Which I think that makes that so much more fun, right? Because at first I was like, okay, this is a weird vision that she's just having. That's nothing, but whatever. But that Grandma's actually there and is like, hey. I think that makes it much funnier, which I like.
Use the hood, Red.
It's all very goofy and I like it. But yeah,
Granny having C4 on her reminds me of, I don't think you got to this part in my time at Sandrock, but you do have to make explosives to blow a tunnel. And you make not what are types of explosives? There's TNT, there's C4,
dynamite. I don't know a whole lot about explosives that I'm willing to admit publicly.
I need let me see if I can find it.
I can't Google types of explosives either.
Nitroglycerin.
Nitro, yeah, okay.
You straight up, I'm pretty sure what you make is nitroglycerin in your farm to blow a hole in a mountain. So
yeah, that's
what that reminded me of. I was like, yeah, sure.
Why not? But the reason that Granny is tied up is because she's like on the like what do you call? She's like a paragliding, right? She has a parachute or some shit, and that's what ties her up. She just does a bad job and gets tied up in her own cords when she lands.
No, she does a great job. She lands successfully through her own chimney like Santa Claus, but her fan was on.
Oh, that's right. Yes, the fan was on. Yeah, I thought that being the reason why she was tied up was really stupid. I know that's very.
Well, yeah, of course it's stupid. It's a children's movie. Do you remember that Vine that was like, a potato flew around
my room before you can't. Yeah,
that's what I said. Granny flew around my room.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, that's how Granny was.
That's how everybody ended up. Yeah, that's.
But none of that explains where the Goody Bandit. What's the Goody Bandit doing?
Goody Bandit is stealing them recipes to become basically like King Arthur baking, you know?
I mean, I put Ronald Reagan because I think there's definitely like a we are going to get people addicted to our recipes plotline there.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And he's the little guy and he wants to be really big. And that's when he puts Red in a truck full of explosives, right? And then we have a big action sequence to save her. Where Kirk and Granny and the wolf and the squirrel and have to all work together. And one of the most realistic part of this movie is that the cops are useless.
Yeah. Did the cops just kind of show up and take credit? They like the bunny like gets like he's like going down the cable car and they just kind of open it after all the stuff has been solved and Red is safe and they just close it after all of the Europeans are in their car, which is funny. There's a couple parts about this I wanted to talk about though. One, I feel like the young woman / little girl who knows martial arts is a weird trope that comes up in this movie, where
Right.
Red and the rabbit have like a weird fight scene. Do you know why?
Right, because it's funny when girl fight.
I mean, is it
Girl,
really,
girl don't fight.
is it more complicated than that?
No. Girl no fight. Funny when girl good at fight. What if girl good at fight? What
But
if girl?
that's the thing. The
strong-
Matrix came out in
stronger than man?
1999. Fucking
No.
Trinity was out here kicking ass, and everybody thought it was great.
No. What if girl not supposed to be strong? Girl's supposed to be pretty. So if girl good at fight, that's funny, because girl would never be good at fight.
No, have you been watching Mansers After All? I told you. Some good episodes in there.
Well, to get closer to you,
Right.
to bridge this communication gap we've been suffering through for the last however many years of our friendship,
Mhm.
I've started to watch.
Yeah, the Duolingo Mansers Duo says some shit that I just cannot repeat on air. It's fucked up.
Correct.
Yeah, so that sequence is weird. I think that it's, I think the fighting is competent. I think the animation's decent.
That's fun.
Yeah, I like it. He uses his ears as like the fourth limbs to like fight, which I think is cool.
Fantastic.
One thing that really, probably the worst thing in this movie for me, is this bit where Granny is describing the Arnold Schwarzenegger European that they have to fight. And she's like, oh, and he's so big and ugly and stinky. He's just like the biggest, nastiest hunk of fucking dog shit you've ever seen. And they do this. She says, oh no, he's right behind me, isn't he? And I was like, oh my God, I forgot this was a thing. I thought this was just a joke that people did on short form video content to make fun of something. But like, this was a type of joke that used to happen for, a 20-year period. Where does this come from, Leyla? Like, when did we start thinking this was a funny thing to say?
It's not that I can't pinpoint this, because I feel like I've seen it in like old cartoons. No, never the like, he's right behind me, isn't it? But that gag without that line where
Right.
like the protagonist is saying something and the person they're talking about is right behind them. That's there. I think the reason we started noticing it and the reason that everybody's sick of it is Joss Whedon.
I mean, I'm sure Whedon is like the main culprit for all of this kind of like quippy, shitty dialogue. But I am just because like I think that joke is fine if they don't point it out. I think it's completely fine if it's somebody's shit talking somebody who's behind them and the person behind them, like clobbers them. That's okay. It's not especially creative, but it's a fine gag. The pointing out of it is fucking awful.
It's awful. I think it's trying to pointing it out fucks with the timing of the joke, where it's like giving you an extra beat to see the character. This is not a good thing. I'm just like structurally pointing out what it does. It's giving you an extra beat to like see the character behind them, but I think that breaks the timing. It's funnier if she was in the middle of talking about how ugly he is and he was just like, he just decked her.
Yeah, I think that'd be a much better thing. I got to look into that because clearly that's a cultural thing that we all recognize and have feelings about. But I gotta find. I'm sure there's a way to find like early iterations of that, but
I'm sure there's cultural criticism aplenty about it.
Yeah, I gotta read some of that because I think that'd be fascinating to talk about. Another thing that I actually, to counterbalance that, I think when they're doing the "Hey, I'm the evil lair inspector" bit, a bit that I don't love when my Dungeons and Dragons players try to pull on me. It happens a lot. Probably once a campaign, friend of the pod, Josh Green, will do this to me. I have to tell them that I'm going to blow up their house with a pipe bomb because it's my least favorite bit to see in an RPG. But here in this movie, I think it's fine to good because the way that Wolf deploys it, and especially because it's Patrick Warburton who is doing the joke, he's talking to Boingo and he's like, "Hey man, have you considered putting in a laser here?" And Boingo's like, "Wait, wait, I don't know. Do you think I should? And like they have this like there's like this moment of vulnerability where he's like, oh well, I wouldn't say I'm a genius yet, but I'm trying to work up to that. Like I think that is so funny.
But then it's not the inspector gag that's funny. It's the kind of like thing around the inspector gag, and what it enables you to do is the same thing in Shrek 2. The reason that it's funny when Shrek and Donkey go to inspect the factory of the fairy godmother is the part where like, do you have dental? No, they don't even have dental.
Right.
Like that's the line everybody remembers, right? It's the shit around it. Or like I was watching The Other Bennett Sister last night, and I was talking to you before the show about this, but like they use a lot of the conventions of Jane Austen kind of like style romances where it's like, oh, let's throw the put together man in the lake. But the part about him being thrown in the lake isn't what's charming. It's the part where he, one, is about to drown the man that put him in that situation very visibly. And two, him and the other wet man cannot drag the woman into the lake. They have to, and the oars are at the bottom of the lake. They have to angrily take the boat and swim it wet back to the beach. That's the part that's funny.
Right.
So it's the shit that comes after.
Right. And that's we don't do a lot of like comedy analysis on this show, but I do think it is worth, trying to piece about, or pick apart why we have these emotional reactions to these moments, because like I do think there is something useful in this kind of conversation about like what makes something funny.
Right.
So yeah, I'm glad that we're bringing that kind of lens to this. But yeah, I mean, like besides a couple of like completely fine action sequences, the narrative completely ends completely fine, right? The rabbit gets captured, the Europeans are all captured. Kirk ends up as a professional yodeler, and then they go off and well, actually, this kind of goes into our marketing minute, but like the Flippers, Detective Flippers is like, hey, what if you want to join our happily ever after agency? And it kind of leaves the door open for a sequel. But yeah, that's
which exists,
which does exist, and we're not going to watch, but that's okay. But yeah, is there anything else you want to hit about Hoodwinked?
No, I had fun. It was a fun movie.
Yeah, I am genuinely so afraid that this is going to be the best movie of the 4 we watch in this unit.
It is going to be.
That can't be true, Leyla.
All downhill from here, baby.
No, I don't want that to be true. Surely Hansel and Gretel 2009 has something to offer us. Surely. I don't think so.
We'll find out.
We'll find out.
What if it's a camp masterpiece? What if we love it as much as we love Van Helsing?
That is my hope. I think that's the highest bar that any of these are going to reach, is like pretty campy and fun. I suspect we are going to get more of a Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland type beat, but we'll see.
Don't remind me about that movie.
All right, Leyla. You have in your notes that you would have, and you said this earlier, you would have liked them to have made Hoodwinked into a cinematic universe, right? The happily ever after agency goes on to become something greater. Can you give me your broad pitch on the Hoodwinked cinematic universe? I'm going to talk to the folks at, I guess probably not Weinstein Company, but some other organization. And we're gonna pitch the HCU to them. What's our first movie to expand out of this besides the sequel that's non-canon anymore?
We've eliminated the canon of the sequel. See, this is a difficult question because there's already another franchise that exists that is doing this and doing it successfully, which is The Bad Guys. And Zootopia is trying to go into a similar direction where it's just like a crime franchise now. So the question is, how do you do something that isn't Fast and Furious?
That is okay. That's true, right? The Hoodwink does tend to lean more action. And as much as I like the Fast and Furious, model, I do think we have to lean maybe a little bit more into the mystery investigation.
Hood's out.
Right. I am think.
Knives Out, but for
actually,
children.
you know, a better touchstone is well, it's Chicken Police. Actually,
Again, our references are
no,
insufferable.
no one's played these games. The Hooded Gentleman or the whatever Wild Gentleman actually this week put out a fucking trailer for a shooter that looks decent, and no one's talked about it. We're the only people who know about that developer.
Well, actually, Chicken Police Into the Hive was played at my last job. Like, I was not the first person to suggest playing Chicken Police Into the Hive.
Really?
At my last gig. Yeah, it was shocking to me.
And did you say, hold on, strap in. I've got the lore for you.
100% I was like, fucking buckle up. It's gonna get a little bit fucking crazy in here. Yeah, I think maybe it is maybe it just gets grittier as Red grows up.
Huh. Interesting. So play this out for me. So, episode, sequel 1. What's happening?
I'm gonna make this pitch to you. Sequel 1. Listen. Don't ask me about details. I'm not a details man.
Okay.
I'm gonna put 2 insane frames of reference in front of you. Ready? It's like Chicken Police Into the Hive, or just Chicken Police generally, meets Kingdom Hearts.
Hold on.
Because the older Sora gets, the smaller his shoes become, if you haven't noticed. Right? And so Kingdom Hearts is really trying to ground itself. We don't know what's going to happen to KH4, but he's like in our world now looking like a J-pop star, right?
Right.
So what if, as we progress through the Hoodwinked cinematic universe, Red just becomes like more and more real until they have enough budget that it's like actually puppets.
I wouldn't hate that.
You know?
That is how we get Knives Out with Muppets, though.
Please. And the content maybe gets grittier. Maybe gets darker.
Right.
More grounded.
Right. So episode 2, it's kind of like we get the detective has them go not investigate the goodie theft, but now they're just investigating a narcotics ring. Somebody is cutting their...
Somebody's putting caffeine in the goodies.
Right. And it's making all of the squirrels turn into super soldiers or whatever happens when the squirrel gets coffee in this movie. A thing that we didn't talk about, but it doesn't matter.
Do you know what we've just written though? Actually, just
is it Over the Hedge?
No, we've written the true crime version of what happened at Panera Bread.
Oh shit!
With those hyper caffeinated drinks.
I forgot about how Panera Bread made the lemonade so caffeinated it kills you. The lemonade that makes you
McDonald's
dead.
was about to do the same thing.
Yeah. I wouldn't hate that. I wouldn't hate a funny, like, not necessarily funny, but a take on like what if a company was selling a product that was bad, and then Little Red Riding Hood had to investigate it. I don't know. Like I do. My vision is here. We get. I don't know if you've seen James Bond Skyfall.
I have not.
But basically, what
I
happened?
do know the Adele song.
Yeah, good song. That basically in it, M, the like leader of the 007 MI6, I believe, is the agency. But played by Judi Dench, right? That woman. That character. She
that
like
woman.
Yeah, I meant to say the woman is M. The esteemed actress is Judi Dench, as we all know. But like I wonder if that granny becomes an M like figure, kind of sending Red on these little missions, and just trying to like
no, finish your thought.
Basically just like trying to pass on like her extreme sports training onto to Red at the same time.
So we've fumbled ass backwards into a different model that we didn't consider. Charlie's Angels.
That would be fun, actually. That would be cute. I think that actually much better fits the anti-cynical stance that this movie was created in. That would be fun.
Super
if it's
earnest.
Flipper's Angels, and it's
Flipper's Angels.
It's Granny, it's Red, and it's of course Kirk, who in between being on tour for his yodeling is doing spy shit.
Right. Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think it's Flipper's Angels is the model that we're going with, and Flipper's is just like sending them out on missions. It's earnest. The cunty outfits are involved. We get Lucy Liu in there somehow. I don't know how or why, but
doesn't matter. We need her in there.
We need her ASAP. If Anne Hathaway was there, we can get Lucy Liu.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's the HCU.
Yeah. Listen, I'd watch 8 movies and a TV show of this.
Certainly. Yeah.
Very good. All right. Well, I will send the
job.
pitch deck over, and our agents will be in touch.
Yeah. Absolutely. My people will talk to your people.
100%. Leyla, when we are not just creating the best and brightest spin-offs of fairy tale concepts that have ever been seen ever, where can we be found on the internet?
You can find me at LEYLSES on Tumblr and Blue Sky. My recommendation for this week is The Other Bennett Sister. Great show. Tight. 10 30-minute episodes. It's adorable. It's really sweet. If you're craving something romantic and period and not Bridgerton, do that. What about you?
Yeah. You can find me on Blue Sky at AA Voigt, Tumblr at Monster Factory Fanfic, and youtube.com/@AAVoigt, where I write about tabletop games. If you need 20 hours to kill, I just put up a thing that used to be on my Patreon, but now is completely publicly available. I do a 20-hour playthrough of the 2016 RPG Tyranny, and I cut out all the combat, so it's basically just me reading. So if you wanna, if you need something to fall asleep to, or if you really liked Tyranny, go ahead and check that out. That's over on my YouTube channel. Our theme song is Obsolete by Keshko from the album Filmmakers Reference Kit Volume 2. You can find more of their music at keshko.bandcamp.com. Leyla, how shall we say goodbye to Hoodwinked and hello to our unit on grimdark fairy tales?
Aaron, I'm afraid we're going to die in here.
Now, Leyla. That's what they said at the Alamo. We'll see you all next time.